Why, hello there YouTube and welcome to a Who review. I am Davros and I am a Whovian, and today I review Doctor Who, Voyage of the Damned. So this is the 2007 Christmas special, taking off from where Series 3 ended, but in between the end of Series 3 and the beginning of this one, time freezed momentarily and the Doctor had an encounter with his past self, which is in the Children in Need special Time Crash. Anyways, yeah, after the Titanic crashes into the TARDIS, when the Doctor has the shields down for repairs, he then quickly gets the TARDIS to fix itself and then finds himself on board the Titanic, only to find that it is a spaceship replica of the actual Earth vessel, and that there's these alien humanoids that are flying above Earth on Christmas Eve observing it. And of course the Doctor, stows away on there and, blends in as a passenger. And of course there's these heavenly hosts which are like robot angels, which makes a change from the robot Santas. And of course the Doctor meets some passengers and crew, including one called Astrid Pef, played by Kylie Minogue, yes. And of course, along the way the Doctor has a quick visit to Earth and finds that it's deserted, because after the last two times London and Earth was invaded, they were like, nope, let's take a break somewhere. But the Doctor does encounter an old man selling newspapers, Wilfred Mott, who we do see come back in Series 4 as Donna's grandfather. I believe that Bernard Cribbins was just meant to be a one-off guest, but with the death of the actor who played Donna's father, they thought, let's bring him back as Donna's granddad. So, yeah, but yeah, he was a fun guest role in that, and was also known at that time for being in the second Dalek film with Peter Cushing. And also along the way, the Titanic gets hit by meteorites with the shields down, that the captain did on purpose because he was sick and dying and had nothing to lose. And of course the cruise liner had failed and it was all an insurance scam, and it was run by this whole metal robo guy called Max Capricorn. And yeah, the heavenly hosts slaughtered the crew with their halos, which seems very graphic. Of course, back on the ship the Doctor has to try and get control of the ship, and of course he finds one of the crewmen called Alonzo, and he said something that he'd been dying to say all this time: Alonzo. And he was chuffed about that. Also, the Titanic is planning to also crash on Earth in London, which would flood half of England in radiation if it had crashed, which we do see in an episode in Series 4. And of course the Doctor, being the Doctor, stops that from happening, and he manages to save the day as always, but of course is unfortunate to save Astrid, who he could have brought back with a device, but the damaged equipment were too broken and he couldn't do it. But of course, Christmas Day the Doctor spends with a tour guide called Mr. Copper, played by Clive Swift, who had been in the 1985 serial Revelation of the Daleks. And of course, Mr. Copper, he has like money on him, which translates in Earth money as 1 million, and he decides to set up home on Earth. As for the Doctor, he just goes back off into time and space, not knowing what to do next. And the episode ends where it's commemorated to the show's first ever producer, Verity Lambert, who passed away that year in 2007. So that is the story. Now let's get on to my likes and dislikes. First of all, I like that this was still a Christmas episode. I was thinking for months, how's that going to work with the Titanic, until the trailer dropped and it turns out it was just a spaceship Titanic. Like, right. And the aliens were paying tribute to the vessel. I also loved the constant Christmas feel in this one as well. It was a good, Christmassy episode, and this, I believe, was on longer than the usual special, because in 2005 and 6 we had an hour-long Christmas special. In this one, it was about 70 minutes long, about an hour and 10 minutes, I think. So we were treated to a bit of a longer, Christmas with the Doctor. And I thought the visuals were great in this, and I feel that still hold up as well for a TV show. I also like the Heavenly Hosts. They were, well, obviously they've become a one-off, monster, if you can call them that. But Robot Angels, I like that. It made a change from the Robot Santas that we had the 2 years before. And they kind of look like the Axons from the classic serial, The Claws of Axos. But they weren't Axons, but resembled them with the golden features. I also liked some of the side characters we got, including Mr. Copper and Banny Cavalata, who was like a Zocchi, who was a little red person with black spikes on him. We did get another alien race like that in a few years later in a Christmas special, which we'll get to eventually. And yeah, I just thought he was a funny little character. We also got two others, Foon and her husband, who won their tickets in a competition, and then there's Astrid Peth, played by Kylie, who was the companion for this episode. I thought she was great in this. I'm not fully familiar with Kylie as an actress, even though I know she used to be in the Australian soap Neighbours, but I've never watched that. But yeah, she was okay in this. Had good chemistry with the Doctor, and of course I can't forget our leading man David Tennant as the Doctor. He was just, great and heroic as always, and yeah, I just loved him being the Doctor in this. Including that big heroic speech he makes in the middle of it when he's telling everyone that he's the Doctor, he's a Time Lord on the planet Gallifrey of the constellation of Gusterberus, and he's 903 years old. Well, 903 at that time. That was just such a powerful moment, and the bit with the Heavenly Hosts where he gets up to the control room where he's, where he's steering the wheel. That too was a good epic moment. Of course, there weren't much development on the main villain of the episode. Now, I thought it would be the Captain, played by Jeffrey Palmer, who had been in the show before in 1970, and he was in this in another role as the captain of the vessel. But he too was good in the screen time that he had. Of course, we also had Russell Tovey, who at the time was basically known for being in the hit supernatural drama Being Human. Yeah, I liked his role in this too, and how the Doctor was over the moon when he was called Alonzo, saying, Alonzo. We did see him on last time in The End of Time, in a brief cameo where he meets up, where Doctor sets him up with Captain Jack. I also, I just remember having a blast watching this episode. We even get like the Queen in there, not like the Queen, but like not even a close-up of her, but she's heavily implied in the episode where she thanks the Doctor for saving the Earth and wishes him a Merry Christmas. I also love Bernard Cribbins' role in this as well. He was a fun cameo, which obviously he was like that much they brought him back. So yeah, I think this was a fun episode. The one thing that I do have a negative on is the main villain, Max Capricorn. Not much is explained about him other than he's a cyborg and he's been hiding away in this and does that whole intro going, "My name is Max." Yeah, he was a bit of a wacky villain, but I feel not much was known about him, and he was pretty much bunked off easily when Astrid sacrificed herself to stop him. So yeah, this was more or less a fun Christmas special that I still enjoyed watching. It was a fun one, and I just loved the the yearly thing that they started, that they kept going. So ratings now. What am I going to rate this one? I will give the performances a 10 because they were good. The visuals, I will give them a a 9. The writing, I will give that a 9, and my personal, I'll give it a 9 because I very much enjoyed watching it. So there you go. That's it for this Christmas review on Voyage of the Damned. So have you seen this one? Let me know all that down below in the comments. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and to share with your friends, and to feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and to hit that notification bell. All my social media links are down below in the description, so be sure to check all that out. I've been Davros the Whovian, and this has been a Who review, so until next time, run for your life.